Yeah. In your house with O'Connor. Hey, O'Connor, in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice. In your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast, it's like cruiserweight action. Your house is a perfect distraction. Pop a seat in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Swallow.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? The Con Man. I'm in your house. We here. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits. Because, hey, we're with the shits. And we're ready to talk a little wrestling. That's right. You already know the vibes. Anytime we slide on through, we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. And, guys, that is exactly what we are here to do, as we always do. And you already know Howse is back in the building, and it's time to give you guys that work, as we've been giving you all week when it comes to pro wrestling. So, guys, earlier in this week, I gave you guys a solo shot. We talked some Monday Night Raw. We talked some SmackDown from last week. And it was because we didn't give you guys a Sunday house party after we were at House of Heat Pro Wrestling in Lafayette, Indiana. And like I said on the solo shot, I think everybody was just kind of like tired and was ready to just kind of take that morning off after traveling and you know, getting all the interviews that we got. And speaking of that, we got one coming to you guys tomorrow. And that is going to be Public Enemy Eric Dillinger. So we got Dilly on the show real quick, and it was a great talk. But we're going to be talking a lot of Money in the Bank today. We got a big weekend coming up for wrestling as WWE goes international again, as they go to Canada, and they're going to be doing Money in the Bank. And of course, we didn't give you guys that house party. So guess what? we're giving you one today on Independence Day. If you celebrate it, we're doing it right now. And of course, I got to make sure I have my great team with me. And of course, we started off with my man, our producer of the show here, Hypocrisy Jones. How's it going, bro?
Yo, what is up out there, household? What is up, Con? What is up, everybody, bro? Happy Independence Day, or whatever today is. Set off your boom booms. My PTSD.
Like I said, if you celebrate it.
I like it. I like it. We got a lot to talk about, man. A whole lot is happening. Well, I think some stuff is happening in AEW, but I'm gonna be real. I don't know what is happening because I can't figure it out. But I know we got some stuff to talk about in WWE. I know Money in the Bank is coming up. Heat Wave is coming through NXT,
Yep.
and NXT is looking really hot right now. Like, things is crazy and moving right now.
Yes, as it should be in wrestling. Things should always be moving, and that's why we do what we do, because we got to keep motion, because they keep motion, and them keeping motion keeps us in motion. So that's always a good thing. And man, one guy that's always staying with some motion as he does his Monday show. He just got a chance to have a real big interview this past weekend with Bill Alfonso. That was great. That's going to be coming to In Your House in a couple of weeks. That's the voice,
I'm
Josh
hyped,
Joseph.
but he was hyped for this. He was so
he
hyped.
was. He
so
was
hyped.
That I was. Bill Alfonso was a treat. The whole event was a treat. Every Child Wins was just amazing. I can't talk enough about that whole production and everything. It felt like an actual, like, real live big three event for me, for not being backstage at a show. That was awesome. It was a true blessing.
Yes, man. It was fun. We had a great time there in Lafayette. Yeah, vibe. I mean, we were just back there working, bro. It was great. I was proud of the team. I really was. We came out of it with a lot of I don't know, more motivation. I feel like we came out of it with, like, we got some great interviews, made some great connections, got some great wheels turning. That could become some really great guests that could be coming to In Your House in the future, and great guests that we already have set up for you guys in the coming weeks for our interview series. And we're just looking to add on to that interview series. I don't want to say the name yet, but we got a big name kind of like floating around, possibly coming to the show. Once again, I don't want to, because you guys know how it is. If you've done anything in podcasting, exactly. We tell you when we can tell you, things fall through, things happen. But trust me, if we can get this cat, it's going to be big. But another cat that we got on this show, and this is going to be a big episode for him, because it's going to determine if he stays on the team or not, because he was fired. All right. This man was gone. He was gone.
I thought we fired him.
He snuck his way in the back door, bro. We didn't deactivate his badge yet.
I mean,
bro.
It's okay. He's doing free work right now, so we appreciate it. We appreciate it. We could just let him keep doing it.
He's interning right now.
Yeah.
Interning. That's the Grunmeister, man. Welcome back to the show, bro.
Hey, what's up? Glad to be back. Ready to talk some wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Yes. He's repping that red, white, and blue over there. I see that shirt. I saw that. I see you, bro.
Red, white, and blue.
Oh, man.
There you go.
Look at that,
Oh, man. Cody.
Cody.
Yes.
I'm a Cody crybaby.
Okay.
I love me some Cody.
Okay.
I love me some Cody. But
we got another friend, right? And he looks tepid, right? Not tepid.
Already.
He looks pissed already.
He's always like that. That is literally his default emotion, bro. Like,
It's
default emotion. And of course, when we have these house parties, we like to make them real big if we possibly can. This man's usually traveling on the move, doing his thing. But right now, the ruler is out. That's the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon. Welcome back to the show, you angry motherfucker.
First and foremost, motherfuckers, I am not always angry. Y'all just always pissing me off, which is why I'm pissed off, P. Second of all, y'all gonna have me come in last, goddammit. Y'all have me introduced last.
Saving the best for last.
It's the main event.
We're saving the best for last.
No, fuck that. fuck? I'm supposed to be part of the team. It's supposed to be like, hey, we get you travel when you got stuff. I made time for this. I could have been getting coochie. First of all, I wonder, does Michael Jackson say coochie? Matter of fact, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Bro, can we talk about that? Can we talk about that?
I just
Wow.
feel like I feel like if Michael Jackson, like, I wonder if he giggles first before he says coochie. Like if he's like, hello there, across the room, and I was just wondering if I can touch a coochie. Like, I just want to know. I feel like the intro to like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough is like boom doom doom doom, you know, boom doom doom doom. I was just wondering doom doom if I can get a little coach. I wonder if that's how it went. But thirdly, they're gonna have me come in last behind a Cody Crybaby. First, I'll throw up the ones. Okay. Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, they ruined WrestleMania for the hoes. Okay. WrestleMania, Rock versus Roman Reigns was for the hoes. We was getting people wanting to come back to wrestling because they saw two beautiful caramel mocha looking motherfuckers going to be in the main event, and they said, "Ooh shit," and they got muscles too. Okay, what's this? A bad bitch finna pull up to Philly. I don't even like to go to Philly, but I'm finna pull up. And then they said, "Oh, so actually, so there's like this very, very like fair-skinned passing Cuban guy that we're gonna actually put in the Rock's place, and he has a neck tattoo. Ooh, do he look like Paul Wall? No, he kind of looks like Homelander. What the fuck?" And then like that was WrestleMania. Like I'm just saying. So y'all gonna have a Cody Crybaby get introduced before me. You know what? I'm gonna tell myself it was a respect thing because you acknowledged your world's most dangerous game and the world's most dangerous older brother. And you know what, Con? I agree with you. As much as I don't fuck with my brother, as much as he annoys me, kill more 2024 because I'm pretty sure he could run this country better than some of these other people running. And on top of that, he hooked up my pantry real quick, so I'm proud of you, bro. Good job. No, you can't come over here.
Can he
No,
say
you
hi?
can't say hi.
No,
he can't say
we
hi.
say
No,
hi
you
to him?
can't.
Yo, I
Y'all
want
can
to
say hi to him. I'll tell him we said what's up.
He ain't
They
that
don't need to see the sweater.
No,
He got a new sweater. They don't need to see
A
the
new
sweater.
one?
I got a sweater.
He got a new sweater. It looks very Cosby, so that's why I'm
What?
saying they don't need to see the sweater. Go,
Oh.
Hey, I'm gonna tell mommy. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
dang!
All right.
After that, now he said he gonna tell mama. Now he said bye bye now.
Bye bye now.
Oh man,
You know,
already on to
we're
a
gonna
hot
get
start.
a Killmore. We're gonna get a Killmore episode.
No, you're not. No, the fuck you not.
Come on, you
He
gotta
steals
make that happen.
everything
We
from
need
me.
it.
Y'all gonna,
It's needed.
No,
The
this
streets-
is gonna happen because y'all gonna
The
get
streets
Killmore on
need
the
it.
show, and he gonna try to steal my spot on the show, and then it's gonna be Paragon crossed out, and then in writing, handwriting is gonna be Mr. Killmore and shit, and then over top of my picture is gonna be him doing this shit. No, y'all not. No.
I mean, I wouldn't manifest this stuff. I wouldn't put it out there in the universe.
No,
I mean, ideas are ideas, and sometimes they're good. I mean,
this is how this shit works. This is how it works, okay? I made the mistake of asking my parents for a little brother. This motherfucker had the nerve to be born on my birthday. Okay, that was strike one. Strike two. I'm like, all right, cool. I can sing and dance and do all this other shit. Motherfucker gets a record deal. I'm like, what the fuck? Next thing you know, I say I wanted to go in professional wrestling. He sees what I'm doing. Says, hey there, brother. I like what you're doing there. I don't know how to do an impression of that motherfucker. He's like a goddamn creep. But he's all over here like, yeah, I'm cool with the shit that you're doing. I'm proud of you. I like this. So now I want to wrestle. I'm like, no, stop stealing my shit. Next thing you know, the hard work that I've put in for the last 7 to 8 years, this motherfucker walks in the door and walks into bookings. Do you realize how hard it is to get into Canada? And he did it in his first month. Do you realize how hard it is to get? So War Wrestling, he's going to be at War Wrestling tonight, in War Ohio Wrestling, right? It's a hard company to get into. Motherfucker's making his debut tonight. You realize I had to wait like the first 3 years of my career just for them to give me a tryout, and he's going in on my main card? Like, no, fuck this motherfucker. I love you, but fuck you sometimes. Fuck you sideways. No Vaseline. He's pissing me off, man. He's pissing me off.
Look at it like this, bro. You opened up the door for him. That's how you should look at it.
I'm trying to
You
close the
presented. You made it.
I'm trying to close.
You made the
Made
easy
these
path for
opportunities
your younger
possible
brother.
for your little brother. I mean, it's a little bit of it's a little nepotism.
Look,
It's
I
a
know
little nepotism.
I know
It's okay.
I said I
It's
wanted
okay.
to
Nothing wrong
leave
with
the
nepotism.
business better than I found it, but I wasn't talking about that motherfucker. He was not in the equation when I said that shit.
you know, Pete, you asked your parents for a sibling. I prayed for my father's sperm to die, and we all make choices.
Well,
Man,
here we are, folks, in your house.
yeah.
15 minutes of fuckery.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're gonna get. All right, guys. We're gonna jump right into it here because we do have a big weekend. We do have a big weekend coming up. We have Money in the Bank. We had the murder of Paul Heyman last week on Friday Night SmackDown. That was insane. Everything happening on Monday Night Raw. It's been cinema with a lot of this stuff. But we got to take it to Money in the Bank, y'all, because there's a lot of ramifications coming out. Because as you guys know, after Money in the Bank, what we got next coming at us is going to be SummerSlam.
Oh,
And
yeah.
SummerSlam has a lot of implications because we know. So here's the things we know about SummerSlam. We know it's in Cleveland. Shout out to P. We know it's August 3rd. We
Shout out to
know.
Emerge.
Shout out to Emerge. We know that Gunther is going to be fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship, and we know Nia Jax is going to be fighting for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship on SmackDown. So now we have some holes to fill here, and those holes are going to be filled, presumably with
Pause. Con, pause.
Pause. I like filling holes though. I'm gonna keep it real.
I do too, but you want to hear what a bunch of
Feeling 'em.
hey, like and no
Feeling 'em.
judgment. It's just we just a bunch of fellas in here. Like pause, just respectfully pause.
Pause. But yeah, we have this great show that's coming up, Money in the Bank, and that's going to be coming up, and we got to make sure that we're presenting things the right way. So we got a lot of things coming up and moving here into the woodworks as I'm pulling this up here. I want to make sure that you guys are able to see it though. There's this card here that I'm going to go ahead and pull up. There it is. So we have the card. And we have a plethora of matches here, 5 matches, which has kind of been like the typical that they've been doing with these international shows. But 2 of them are going to run long because they are Money in the Bank matches. So let's go ahead and jump right into this, and we're going to get a little bit of thoughts from everybody. Man, I want to start with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match here. Let's just jump right into it. That's going to be involving Chelsea Green, Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Zoe Stark, who qualified this past Monday on Monday Night Raw. And that rounds out our field of 6 here for the match. I want to just jump right into it, and I'll give my thoughts and stuff. But I want to give it to the crew here, starting with the voice, Josh Joseph. Man, this match, once again, heavy implications here because of everything that's going on right now. Bayley, champ. She's holding it right now. Liv Morgan, champ. She's holding it right now. Everything that Liv Morgan is doing, which once again, like I saw on the show, some of her best work. What are you feeling about this Money in the Bank women's ladder match, and who do you think is going to come out of it winning?
Well, I have said it before. I think this is Naomi SummerSlam. I think she will be winning the Money in the Bank. I think she will go on to SummerSlam and in some form or fashion, a Naomi fashion, she will walk out of SummerSlam the women's champion. Now, if they decide to go differently, I could see Zoe Stark winning this. And I could see her winning it because I said at the beginning of this year that this was Zoe's year. And I think a Money in the Bank briefcase run would be pretty cool for Zoe. It would definitely give her another level to her overall presence, her overall in-ring. She does great work in-ring. And the story that they're telling with her right now, I think is very compelling. And I think she can boost it even more with a Money in the Bank briefcase, walking around with it and being linked up with Shayna. I mean, her and Shayna together, I love that tag team, but you put a Money in the Bank briefcase with her and you have Shayna running with her, you could definitely walk out of something. It could be a Monday Night Raw with a title because Shayna's not letting anybody get to that ring. You're going to have to come through the crowd, and by then 1, 2, 3 is already hit and Zoe Starks is a champion. It may be too early in her career for this. She may not be ready for it, but I think that it would be a really cool push for her. So those would be my two top picks if I were going to. Obviously, Naomi's number one because I really think, like I said at the very beginning of all this, this is her year. This is her really showing why Naomi's back. And we're going to get Naomi as Naomi. She's not going to pretend to be something else. She's not going to do something else. It's going to be straight up, ha ha ha. You didn't realize I was going to do this to you?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about this with Naomi before, is that she'll string those victories together and then she'll quietly make herself a contender. Like, and that's kind of what I feel like Naomi, that's the role that she's played, because it's like she picks up a few wins and then suddenly she's like walking out while the champion is in the ring doing a promo or something. And we're like waiting. All right, she's done with the last feud. Now what's next? And then boom, out walks Naomi. And you're like, what's Naomi doing out here? And then you start to really think about it. And you're like, dang, she didn't win like the last 4 or 5 weeks and had like pretty good, like small stories that she's been working with or whatever. Yeah, she kind of deserves to be here. So yeah, we've had a conversation before. I really feel like me and you, Voice, we're always trying to make Zoe Stark work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's been like, because there's something with Zoe Stark that me and you both like, because we're just constantly trying to make her work. I think that it would be a great resurgence for her in some kind of way, because she hasn't really done much really since the Trish storyline. No, you know, but she's talented and she's good, and she in the right presentation can be, I feel like, in my opinion, a main event player at some point, you know, but we'll have to see. Hype, what do you think, man? Money in the Bank women's ladder match. We just saw the participants all come up on the screen there. What are you thinking?
Oh, you know what he's doing.
Wait, you know what this is, right?
Oh, that's
y'all know what that is.
Oh yeah.
Listen.
It's a clock, because you know what time it is, bro. It's Tiffy time. It's been Tiffy time. I've been saying this. She about to run this Money in the Bank ladder match. She about to run this whole show, and she about to show everybody it's Tiffy time. It's been Tiffy time. She gonna paint that briefcase pink, and you know it. I'm just here to tell it. Like,
listen, I love Tiffy.
It is time.
It's Tiffy time. Tiffy time. Fix that clock. I think it's a minute off.
You a minute off. I don't know.
I've known that for years, bro. You're not telling me nothing I don't already know. I know I've been a minute off, bro. That's just facts. But no, for real though, Tiffy time. She really is. She really has been. Well, I say she was, but she's top 2 for me. She's top 2 for me. So I'm gonna save my thoughts for when I go as far as that goes. But I'm gonna give it to Grun. Grun, what are you thinking, man? Money in the Bank, a ladder match, women's match, ladder match. What are you thinking?
I do agree that I want to see Zoe Stark accomplish something, but my pick is going to be for Chelsea Green. Mm-hmm. If nothing else, just because I think we would see some very entertaining segments with her in the briefcase. I don't think there'd be a whole lot you could do with her, but like I think it would just be really good TV. At the same time, like I definitely would not be complaining if Tiffany Stratton won. I think it should be a great pick. Pick Naomi. Like, I think if she wins, that's an opportunity to turn her heel for the first time. Give her something. Give her a compelling story with her versus Bailey. I think that could be really good as well.
Yeah. No, I like those picks. I like those picks. OG Tony in the chat saying that he agrees it's Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton is definitely high up on the list as far as somebody who could win this thing. I think people have been impressed with her talent for a while. She already has that somewhat of a championship pedigree from her time in NXT. So it's definitely easy to see why somebody would be like, hey, she's somebody that we could realistically see holding that briefcase because of the talent that she possesses and the pedigree that she's grown for herself in a short amount of time. Tiffany hasn't been wrestling that long, but somebody who's been wrestling for a long time is Paragon, and I definitely want to get his thoughts on it, man. What do you think? Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Give us your thoughts.
All right, throw that graphic up real quick of the Money in the Bank match. So right now you have a babyface champion and you have a heel champion in your women's division, unless they decide they want to pull some bull crap and take their talents down to NXT. So as it goes, the only person that could win this match on the Raw end of it would be Lyra. It's not Lyra's time. I feel like Lyra's going to have a great showing, but they're not going to put their chips in Lyra yet. And I don't think that they're going to have Io do it, because what would be the point of not only having her be a 2-time in a row, but having her be a 2-time in a row and then cashing on the heel champion, especially with all the stuff going on with the Rhea Ripley storyline. And I'm sorry, there's a disconnect with Zoe Starks. To me, Zoe Starks is like Karrion Kross. There's a disconnect. It's just you want them to be better than they are, but it's just not there. It's just not working. And I'm sorry, because they're talented. And I mean, for instance, like Karrion can talk, but it's like you have to make people care on a level beyond just you're talented. Because if you can talk and if you can wrestle, but you can't make me care, then like. So that takes us over to SmackDown. Naomi probably has the most compelling story of, is this going to be a Naomi heel turn? Is this going to be, this Naomi trying to get her just due? I don't think they're going to go that route. I think it's going to be between Chelsea and Tiffany Stratton. Those are honestly my two picks. One, because of the briefcase being turned pink, I feel like I can literally see that being a thing. Maybe even pink with some little like rhinestones or diamonds on it or something like that.
Dazzle the shit out of that.
She's going Barbie. She's going to Barbie and Beverly Hills that fucking briefcase. But I also see the compellingness of, she's also building this relationship with Nia Jax.
Yeah.
And so, like, is there going to be a problem? Is it going to be Nia saying, hey, now that I won you the briefcase, I expect you to not cash in or whatever bull crap? Or if I lose, I'll make sure I beat down Bayley enough so you can cash in, so that way I'm still the queen next to the champion. It could be compelling, but then there's the other side of it. Chelsea Green has her own muscle. Chelsea Green has her own friend. Chelsea Green has someone that can help protect both the briefcase and the title for her once she has it. And then she has somebody who she could potentially feud with if she feels disrespected, and that could potentially turn Piper Niven face. So I think those are compelling stories. I think those are my two choices, are Chelsea and Tiffany, just because of what they have going into it. If you tell me to pick one of them, I'm going to tell you to go fuck yourself.
That's Pete giving his that's Pete giving his insights, and we love to hear it. So I'm gonna jump in, give my thoughts. I think Pete said a lot of stuff that was right. I mean, I really do, as well as Grunt as well. He said some things that kind of vibe with me. And the reason why my top pick is really Chelsea Green is because of that factor that you have there with Piper Niven. Piper, you can definitely see a Shawn Michaels and Diesel dynamic there if she were to hold the briefcase. You could see, you could even see Piper help her cash in, and that could even be a thing where it's like, hey, you promised you would help me cash in, and you helped me cash in, and in return, I'll give you a title match. You will be who I defend the title against. And then Chelsea, with her personality, I can definitely see her like always finding reasons to put off defending the title against Piper. Like, oh no, we're not going to do it this week. Oh, I've got this and this and that going on, and trust me, we'll do it next week. And it gets to a point where like Piper is like trusting her because of the history that they've built together. But now she's like, all right, you're playing with me now. I can clearly see that you're playing with me. You're pushing this off because you don't want to fight me. And that could even potentially help a Piper Niven face turn. So that's a possibility there. But I just think her carrying the briefcase, like Grun said, would just be complete good TV, must-see TV. I love Chelsea Green. I think she has some of the best charisma I could say of the female competitors in WWE, but I think she has some of the best charisma of anybody, really. And she can go toe-to-toe with anybody in that ring because of the charisma that she carries on that mic. I just think that She holds herself well. She knows who she is. And I think that she would be a great carrier of the Money in the Bank briefcase. And she can hold that for a while. And people could, and this is the whole point of the Money in the Bank briefcase, right? Is you could win it and people can say, oh, I'm not ready to see her as champion yet. Well, guess what? They have a year to cash it in. Where they might not feel like they're championship material now, in 8 months, they might be. So, that's why you give them the briefcase, which is another reason why Tiffany Stratton is my number 2, because Tiffany Stratton has really been jumping and climbing up the card in such a way that she's become must-see TV herself. Like P alluded to, they're bringing up that allegiance that she's trying to form with Nia Jax. I think that we're seeing the character development of Tiffany Stratton is that she's smart enough to know who to align herself with. You know what I'm saying? She's smart enough to know, like, hey, in a landscape of WWE where everybody is watching everybody else's back, I would, you know what's smart for me to do? Have one of the biggest, baddest females on the roster be on my side, flank me, and let me feel confident in knowing that, hey, I got somebody who got my back. If it wasn't for the fact that Nia Jax was already in the title hunt because she's guaranteed a title opportunity at SummerSlam, I would almost say that you can do the whole Shawn Michaels Diesel thing with Tiffany and Nia, but that's not going to be the case because Nia is in the title mix. No matter what happens up until August for the next few weeks, one thing we know for a fact is that Nia Jax is in the mix for the championship title race. So she's not going to flank anybody. She's not going to be second to anybody, at least not right now at this point, because she's looking to be the number 1. So yeah, but dark horse in that is definitely Naomi. Naomi definitely is moving in an interesting way. That's been my top 3. I said it on the last episode of my solo shot. I believe that those would be my top 3 right there in that order of who I think could do it. But we're gonna move on here because we still got a couple of other matches. Real great conversation, y'all. If you guys are sliding in the chat, we appreciate. Give us your thoughts. Who do you guys think is going to win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match? But we're about to move forward to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. And if we could pull that graphic up one more time for me, please, we'll get that cracking. And that is going to be Jey Uso. He's going to be going up against Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. Men's Money in the Bank ladder match here. Man, this is what a field of competitors. I say that about the last one too, but what a field of competitors they have on this one. It's really good, really interesting, and honestly, like, it's going to be a tough pick, but we got to try to do what we can here to at least do what we did. Give us top 2, top 3 picks on who could win this thing. I'm gonna start it off with hype here, man. Who do you think, bro? Who do you think is favorite to win this Money in the Bank ladder match? Or who's your favorite to win the men's Money in the Bank ladder match?
Man, so I'm not going to lie. I have a couple favorites in this match that I'd love to see win. Like, to see Melo win this early in his career would be absolutely fantastic. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Jey Uso win. But realistically, I don't know it's time yet. I think Jey Uso is going to have some other things going on in his life. At least come Money in the Bank or during Money in the Bank, or I don't know, some shit's about to pop off, but we'll talk about that later. We also have Drew McIntyre. I mean, some shit's going to pop off in his life too. I don't know. I could see Drew winning, right? And then cashing in that night like he said he was going to. But I don't know. I don't know if that's what's going to happen. I think if I'm going to just pick somebody as a wild horse that I'd like to see, I think I might like to see Chad Gable win this match, and I think that might be his just due. This is a weird one because, like, I don't think they're going to give. I don't think they're going to go Drew, because I feel like if you go Drew, he has to cash in. CM Punk has to fucking cost him again. And, like, although I love that dynamic of the story, CM Punk could just as easily cost him from getting the briefcase period, right? And then we still get possibly a year with somebody building up with the briefcase and it not be lost. But man, yeah, like I said, if I'm gonna go with who I'm gonna pick, maybe I see Chad Gable coming out of this.
Ooh, Chad Gable. Chad Gable's an interesting one. You know what would be interesting with Chad Gable if he did win Money in the Bank, and every time he tries to cash in, the White Six fucks with him. Like every single time.
Well,
Some
so
otherworldly shit
seemingly
happens.
everyone in this match has someone else fucking with them outside of this match. If you look at it, like, right, you have Chad Gable has the Wyatt Six fucking with him. You have Jey Uso with, you know, the Bloodline probably going to be fucking with him. You have Drew McIntyre with CM Punk. You have LA Knight with Logan Paul. Andrade is the kind of wild horse.
He has Legado. He has Legado then Fantasma.
Okay. He has Legado. He has Legado. Maybe Mello is the only one that really don't have nobody fucking with
Mello kinda has some. Mello has a like low key beef with LA Knight and a low key beef with Randy Orton. It's not high key, but it's low key. I don't see Randy getting involved, but I do see LA Knight being petty and trying to cost him, and then he ends up getting bitten from it by like Logan Paul or some shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. I like what you're saying there, because like, and I'll let you finish up hype, but I'm saying like like Carmelo Hayes, it seemed like he that young kid that's like kicking up dust right now. Like you say, he got a lot of low key beefs right now. He kicking up some dust right now. Like, and that's one thing I'm seeing that Carmelo Hayes is doing, is that he's running his mouth where he don't need, like in situations where he's just like, oh yeah, you don't, like if you sit there and shut your mouth, you'd be cool. But he wants to run his mouth. He wants people to know that he's there. He's kicking up some dust right now.
Though.
Yeah, he's kicking up dust
from NXT. That was Mello without Trick. I'm just like that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I like that for him. I like that he's kicking up dust. That's exactly what I say he's doing. He's trying to kick up dust like Tupac. He's trying to get up in people's face. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to start some shit. I like that energy from Carmelo Hayes right now. He could come out of this thing, but right back to you, Hype. Go ahead and finish your thought, bro.
Yeah, no, that's just my thought. Is how I'm looking at this match, like how it's being built. Everybody has outside fires that they're fucking with, except for really Mello. But like, I don't think they pull the trigger on Mello with the Money in the Bank so soon after doing the same thing with Austin Theory. You know what I mean?
True, but he could be a different superstar in 8 months, though.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, Mello's upside is different than Austin's upside. Mello came into the main roster with 3 championships to his name. When Austin Theory came to the main roster, he had no championships, not even a tag title to his name.
Right.
And on top of that, he got sent to the main roster, sent back to NXT, and then sent back to the main roster. Because you remember, during the pandemic, he was a part of Andrade and Zelina and Angel Garza stable, and then randomly popped up being a part of Seth Rollins' stable. Yeah. Then they sent him back down to NXT. And then he sent back to NXT and then joined the Way stable with Gargano in them. And so, like, you had this dude be put in 3 stables in a matter of like a calendar year, and then said, hey, we want you to be a main roster singles guy going after championships. So it's like his situation isn't the same as Mello, because Mello became the undisputed North American champion when he unified the Cruiserweight title and the North American Championship, which counts as 2 titles. Mello was a multi-time North American champion. Mello then held the NXT Heavyweight Championship, not for long, but he held it. And they said he was in one of the biggest matches of the NXT Championship, whatever. So like, Mello was put in places to not only hold a singles title, he was also put in place of being a face of a brand. Is it the main roster brand? No, and that's understandable. But unlike Theory, and this is not me defending Theory nor like trying to tear down Mello or defending Mello and tearing down Theory. This is just me stating facts. If you put me in a situation where I can succeed and then you elevate me, then I have a higher chance of succeeding again, versus you put me in a situation where I kind of was just there and then you gave me a promotion. Like, if I put you in a job where I'm not giving you the tools to be successful in your job, to do better or get towards leadership, I'm just letting you do your job and then I promote you, you're probably going to feel lost in that promotion. But if I put you in a situation where, hey, I gave you all these tools beforehand, showed you what it was like to be a leader without actually giving you a leadership title. Now here's the leadership title. Let's see how you do now that you officially have it. So I feel like that's the difference in comparison of Austin winning the Money in the Bank versus if Melo did.
I feel that.
But
I'd also like to
understand
see
people
Melo change the briefcase
I
to
like
a duffel
that.
bag
Oh,
and then put
that's a
and then
valid
put
point, man.
jerseys in
I
it.
do.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I'd be here for that. I'd be here for that. No, I think with Melo, he's definitely in an interesting, like, you got to pay attention to what Carmelo Hayes is going to do in this match, I think, because I think that if he wins, a lot of people will be surprised, but I think the right people won't be surprised if he were to come out and win. The people that's been paying attention to what he's doing for a while, and yeah, he has been put in a position where he has been put in that spot to be the face of a brand, where with Austin Theory, he's been part of many stables. Even now, he's being protected in a tag team, even though he's a great worker. But it's like, we don't care about Austin Theory on his own. That's the thing. Like, when he's on his own, he can't compel us in that way, which has always been a thing with him. But this ain't the Austin Theory conversation. This is the Money in the Bank conversation. I'm going to throw it over to my man, the voice, Josh Joseph. What's that?
I said Austin about to turn face. It's about to be weird.
I think that'll be good for him. I really do. I think it'll be an interesting dynamic for him. But voice, what you got, bro?
I mean, I know I've been riding the J train, Jey Uso. I think he's gonna. I really think this is his moment. I really think that they're going to push him into the main event spot, and I think he gets over. I know we've had conversations where you brilliantly brought up the fact that he's named main event, but we never see him overcome in the main event. We never see him get over there. We always see him, falter, stumble, what have you. But I really think that this would be the year to do that with him and make him the main event, make him that. I know that there's a bloodline issue going on, but imagine the extra layer of deliciousness if you give Jey Uso that title, that briefcase. Then he's set apart from everybody else in the bloodline because he's got the next opportunity. So therefore that makes him more of a target to the bloodline, which, I mean, let's be honest, when the bloodline has a target, they're compelling to watch. It's something to see. I mean, even though I did not like it, it was something to see Paul Heyman go through a table. I mean, the man doesn't need to go through tables anymore.
He's 58.
Yeah, we don't. He's not. I mean, no one's really going, man, I really wish I had Paul Heyman's physique. He's not really like somebody who should be taking bumps like that. But it was compelling. It drew up a lot of talk, and I'd like to bring up me and Paragon's discussion on it. The fact that I brought up in the chat that Solo, I'm like, I don't buy him. What you're selling with Solo, I'm not purchasing. And me and Paragon had a discussion about it. And then once this happened, because I was in the chat and I was like, no, you're killing Paul Heyman. Don't do this. Paragon brought up a fantastic point. And he said, well, voice, isn't this what you wanted? Isn't this what you desired out of Solo? Aren't you buying it now? And I want to say yes, but I'm not. I'm buying the other people around him who did the work. And I know Solo was involved in it, but if you have nobody behind Solo, is he able to do something like that? Is he able to overcome something like that? Does somebody else come out? Because I mean, I'm not going anywhere Jacob Fatu is. That's not. I don't know what his mindset is ever.
And to me, he's not even the scariest one. That's the crazy part.
See,
like, you don't want to go there, Jacob Fatu, and I'm like, but have you heard of Tama Tonga?
Well, you see, Tama Tonga crazy.
That's where I go, P. I go, Jacob's selling something that I'm going to buy because I'm sitting here saying this, and you, of somebody with more knowledge of the family, are saying, dude, that's not even the scariest one. What are you doing? So I'm buying Jacob in that manner.
But you hit up a really good point, though, Voice. And like you said, I'm buying all these people around him. If you take them away from Solo, is this happening? Is that happening? And to me, it goes back to that's the point. I look at the bloodline and I see the mafia. But what I see is if you've ever seen those mafia movies where there is that young guy who has the big mouth and has all the power, but then you ask yourself, why are they so powerful? And it's not them. Like they can be scary, but are they scary more so who they surround themselves by or because of what they do? And I'm like, and that's why I find it compelling. That's why it's not a matter of buying Solo as you're the head of the table. It's buying Solo as you think you're the head of the table. You want us to believe that you believe you're the head of the table because you're not just trying to convince the audience, you're trying to convince yourself you're also the tribal chief, which is why when Paul Heyman, you are not my tribal chief, and throws the mic, and you see how personally Solo took that.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like, you're supposed to fear me. You're really supposed to fear the people around me. And yet you felt bold enough to say that knowing what we all could do to you. And now think about it. He would never say that to Roman.
But because Roman took counsel in him. Solo's not listening to him at all.
I don't think it's just that though either. You said Roman took counsel in him. But Roman was also proven. Roman was also made. Roman was also, he did all these things. Once again, going back to that mindset of the mafia. Roman is a made man based off of his account and his accord. But if you're a made man due to your family ties, like The Sopranos is my shit.
I was just gonna say that.
You know, and there's the dude, I can't think of who his character was on The Sopranos. He had the toupee, and he was the guy that betrayed them in the first Matrix movie. He was in Sopranos, and everyone talked about how he wasn't shit, and how, you know, he's a made man because of who he knows, not because of what he's done, and how no one respects him, but he's a made man, and there's rules to this. And the thing was, he was constantly trying to prove that he was on the same level as Tony Soprano. And I feel like that's what we're seeing with Solo. Solo, with who he's surrounding himself with and with the things he's doing, is trying to prove, I'm the tribal chief in this bitch. But the thing is, Roman didn't have to prove it. Roman was it. And I think that's
Roman.
He was already that.
We saw everything that Roman had been through, all the things that he'd done, and then he brought
motherfucker beat cancer. He made cancer tap out.
Yeah. No, facts. So like when Voice says that he doesn't buy Solo, like you're not supposed to. Like
I think that's the point, bro. Yeah, that's the point.
I think that's the point. Like you're not supposed to. This is all okay.
He's
see
believing in his own hype.
Let's see what he builds. Let's see what kind of chaos he actually like causes until Roman gets back. And then let's see if he can cause that same kind of sort of chaos to Roman. Let's see if he can make Roman like flip. You know, let's see if we take this calm, cool, collected, thoughtful Roman, and we see if we can turn him into not a monster, but like somebody who absolutely has to destroy his family because he made that shit. You know what I mean? Like this is the part in the book or the story or whatever where you're seeing why the superhero had to come back.
No, this is the part. This is the part where you realize that Roman Reigns is LeBron James because even when he's not on TV, even when he's not in the playoffs, we still fucking talking about him.
Yeah. No, it's that.
Man, it's crazy.
It's Roman's more Jordan. I mean, he's out and people are still talking about him.
But
this is White Sox.
The reason why, but see, I don't think it's Jordan. The reason why I look at it is because Jordan was retired, and when he was retired, we were only talking about him when it came to conversations of like debate. But I look at it like Roman taking time off / being injured. He's out the playoffs right now, and this is the off season, and other people are still doing playoff stuff, or we're hearing about all these trades and whatnot, but we're still talking about him. LeBron can get knocked out the first round of the playoffs, and yet we're talking about him all the way up until we start back in that season.
What's the Lakers gonna do? Who are they gonna trade for? Who are they gonna put
What's
around
LeBron
LeBron?
gonna do? Like, literally,
Is he gonna opt out of his contract?
Solo Sikoa, like, and I don't mean this as a slight to what I'm about to say. Solo Sikoa is like Bronny James. Right now, we're having a nepotism conversation. We're having a conversation of, does Solo have the right to be calling himself the tribal chief and in the position he's in? Or is he coasting off of what he did with Roman? Is he coasting off of Roman's name? Roman name.
That makes him LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes Roman Jordan.
But LeBron's not coasting off of nobody's legacy because Jordan wasn't good enough to get his kids in the league.
LeBron's calling himself the GOAT. Solo's calling himself the tribal leader. Roman is the tribal leader. Jordan is the GOAT.
Jordan's not the GOAT, though.
We're talking two conversations here.
No,
I like this.
Bill Russell has more rings.
What do you think, Go?
Jordan is the GOAT.
Bill Russell has more rings than Jordan.
So
he's better than Jordan.
So then he's better than LeBron too.
Yes, he is.
Then you can't say LeBron's the GOAT.
I didn't say LeBron's the GOAT. I said Jordan's not the GOAT. I never said LeBron's the GOAT. I said Jordan's not the GOAT.
Because this damn conversation, the Jordan and
because Roman Reigns not the GOAT either. You can put him in the GOAT conversation.
When you associate it with wrestling, though, you have to take the GOAT of basketball.
The Rock's the GOAT. The Rock's the GOAT.
The tribal chief.
Thank you.
The Rock is the GOAT. The Rock is the GOAT.
Yes.
He said, "My dad is the GOAT." Listen, let's we're
all money in the bank. Damn it, we're all money in the bank.
I was gonna say, we'll bring this back.
What's he trying to get the ruler to come out? That's what he's doing. He's trying to get the ruler to come out.
I'm so tired of LeBron talk. Like, just so tired of it.
Hey, and that's me when it comes to Jordan talk. Because hey, you can.
Bro, you'll be happy when he retires, huh? You'll be happy when he retires.
I'll be happy. Yes. No, I won't.
Guess what?
He'll be sidelined with a. He's got another son.
I was gonna say, you think you're gonna get rid of him, but he could be back.
The youngest son, you watch out for him. You watch out for him.
Bryce?
You watch out for Bryce. Bryce is gonna blow everybody away in that.
Bryce is gonna be really good. I think Bryce does have potential to be better than his brother. Like, this ain't a basketball chat. Let's go. All right, let's go.
No,
Grun's just been sitting here, just taking it all in and not getting able to chant.
Pause.
Grun loves drama.
I'm gonna bring it on. I'm gonna throw the rock over to you, man. He's just over there watching it.
Hey, man, I bet you gotta start watching.
I bet if you screenshot it, you could just see him sitting there like. Grun was just sitting there like, taking it all in. All right,
pause.
Grun, what you think, man? Money in the bank. What you think, bro? Pause.
And it's always that Grun too. It's always that Grun. Because when he was filling all the holes, it was that Grun.
Grun, what you got, man? Who you got? Men's Money in the Bank.
All right,
I HR is what he got. He had to call the HR.
I think I'm gonna go with the safe pick of Drew McIntyre. But here, like, I really don't know which direction they could go in. Because I think there is a story to tell if Chad Gable wins. There's a story to tell if Jey Uso wins. There's a story to tell if Carmelo wins. And it's like, I don't think LA Knight's gonna win because I think his match at SummerSlam is him versus Logan Paul. I think that takes LA Knight out, but this is definitely one where it's not that clear cut, and I like it.
Yeah,
I dig that.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's not clear cut. We don't really know where it's gonna go, but I think there's definitely a lot of elements here. I don't hear a lot of noise about like LA Knight maybe winning this thing, or do we not feel like Andrade is there yet? What if she pops out and just wins this thing and shocks everybody? I'm gonna throw it over to P. P, you've had your thoughts as far as like when we've been talking this conversation, but I want your thoughts as far as who you think could win it, who you think's your favorites as far as winning this thing.
So the big thing about this match is this is a match where people can't afford to lose match, and everybody has their reason why they can't afford to lose. Like you have Chad Gable who came off of losing to Gunther and then losing to Sami Zayn. You got LA Knight who had all this hype behind him just a year and a half ago and has kind of had nothing to show for it. Especially come to the main roster. I mean, if you take NXT and main roster, he's won nothing. And then you have Drew McIntyre, who like you finally got your big moment at Mania just to showboat your ass out of a championship, then try to get your rematch at Clash of the Castle just for you to lose again. Then you said you quit on live TV, but then apparently you didn't really mean that shit. So it's just like you also have to be able to win. And you know, Voice brought up the conversation of Jey Uso. How can you be main event Jey Uso? How can you be the face of this pay-per-view? You're on the graphic as the face of the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And if you still lose, Andrade can't really afford to lose himself either because, like, hey, you came back at Royal Rumble. What have you done outside of that one WrestleMania match that was good, but I felt like a lot of people didn't care about? And it wasn't your fault they didn't care about it. It just kind of felt like it got thrown together, rushed, and there was also so much other stuff happening on the card. Then you have the stakes of Melo, right? So you would say he's low stakes. He has the ability to lose and stuff like that. But then at the same time, though, you didn't make it to the finals of, you know, the King of the Ring tournament. You debuted in a match with Cody, you know, and lost. So it's like you're getting put in big moments, but it's almost coming off as you're getting put in big moments early in your career. You're not showing up. Almost kind of like a John Cena in the beginning. So everybody has their reasons why they need to lose, why they need to win, and why they can't afford to lose. I think the Wyatt Six or you know Alpha Academy stops Gable from winning. I think if not CM Punk, AJ Lee stops Drew McIntyre from winning. Logan Paul can stop LA Knight from winning, and I feel like there is a chance that they just don't see Andrade as their champion, at least not right now, because they want to get him more allocated into the system. So it comes down to Jay and Melo. Voice, you brought up that him winning the Money in the Bank doesn't have to necessarily interfere, could potentially enhance the storyline of the Bloodline. They don't even have to necessarily stop him. I could see him being put in a situation where they tell him, you got to put your briefcase on the line against a Bloodline member. You know, and then let's say they put him up. He's like, oh, I'm going to face my little brother Solo. And then Solo comes down to the ring, and then Jacob or Tama end up taking the place. They beat Jay and then gift the briefcase to Solo on some like ho shit. Could happen. Or he could, you know, fight through it, and then he fights through it and they just jump him. And then that's when finally Jimmy shows back up. And there's so many avenues you could take.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you have a fucking star waiting in the wings in Melo. And there's so much stuff you can do with him. LA Knight can afford to lose because you have plans for him going forward. Drew McIntyre can afford to lose. You have plans with him going forward. Obviously, with this Wyatt Six stuff and the Alpha Academy stuff, he can afford to lose. You have stuff for him going forward. Andrade, it'd be nice if he won something so that way his comeback feels like it means something in the company. But then it's also like you end up having to use this briefcase as more of, I'm using this to build you up and give you something, which can be said for any of the other three. But I feel like Andrade needs a little bit more, hey, what am I doing in the company first? Who am I feuding with? Who am I whatever? And I also feel like Andrade, to be fair, probably needs Money in the Bank to become a world champion in this current climate. But I also would like to see Andrade win the IC title. But the IC title is on the other brand currently, which is why I'm like, it'd be nice if, you know, you were also on the other brand, but that's a whole different conversation. I feel like when it comes down to it, it needs to be either Jay or Melo. So Jay and Melo are my picks. But if I had to pick one of the two, this is one where I can do it. I want to have it be Jay because you put him as the face of your damn pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's what I said.
You see how over he is, and I can see him holding the briefcase, doing this shit, and making the crowd go crazy. Yeah, if we look at the stakes of it, Jay has to kind of win, but I'm choosing him or Melo. I don't think Melo has a chance of winning, sadly, but those are my two choices of those who probably should win.
Okay, so I want to go back real quick to that AJ Lee thought because that stuck with me. What's your scenario where AJ Lee gets involved in this thing? What's that? What's making you say that?
Because the bracelet that he stole from CM Punk when he attacked him.
Yeah, I thought that's where you was going.
Yeah, exactly. And I could see AJ Lee, Drew is Claymore and all the motherfuckers, and it looks like he's won the match. And then out of nowhere, you hear the crowd get hype, and you see him looking down, waving his foot, and then the camera shows someone yeeting his foot off of the ladder They unzip, take the hoodie off. It's AJ Lee. After that, she takes a chair, pow, cracks Drew in the face because she needs to probably a little extra oomph to, put him down.
Mm-hmm.
And then she takes the bracelet off, puts it in her hands, and then, walks out.
Walks out. Yep.
And when that moment happens, whoever actually is going to win probably wins in that moment. And that's where I could see a Carmelo Hayes, because with him being a heel, I could see that happens and he looks up under.
Yeah, yep. On the apron. Yeah, see now nobody there.
He slides in, climbs up, takes the briefcase.
Yeah, no, I like that. I do. I just wanted to expand on that AJ Lee thought because that was interesting to me. Like, because you said it and you said it so fast. I was like, hold on, wait a minute, slow down. I want to hear your thoughts on that. So no, I like that. That's cool. But yeah, man, I really do. I'm with you, man. I feel like it's got to be Jay, right? Like, I just feel like it does. Like, you put him on the face. They're talking about Yeet in the Bank. He was the first one to declare for Money in the Bank. I just feel like it's got to be him. If you're asking me to pick like another pick, I would say there's a possibility that Drew McIntyre wins and does cash in the same night. But also I see more of an opportunity where he's going up and climbing and CM Punk comes and screws him again. Because last time we saw CM Punk, he was a bloodied mess and getting carted off, courtesy of Drew McIntyre. So we could see him make his return Saturday night. It's not like CM Punk. CM Punk is not above getting his passport out and driving and getting on the plane and flying for a few hours to a completely different country just to fuck his enemies over. You know what I'm saying? We've seen him do it before. So it's like this is definitely like petty energy, and he's that petty guy that's gonna do something like that. But at the end of the day, man, I just think it's Jey Uso. I do think there's a story there where Gable could have it. We can see Gable have that net because Gable has been coming up as a character. I mean, he really has made you care about everything Chad Gable's doing. We've always known Chad Gable was a fantastic wrestler, but they're hitting him with Shorty G shit. He's a tag team wrestler. You putting him in, him and Jason Jordan, of course, they were great, the American Alphas. And then they tried to, kind of bring that together when they tagged him up with Shelton Benjamin. It just didn't quite pop the same, and then the Alpha Academy. And the thing about it is, like, Gable's always been good. Like, he's always been good as a character. He just hasn't been putting those opportunities to do that. I mean, I believe it was the King of the Ring PLE. I believe it was. It had been like 13 months since he'd been on a PLE before, before that. Like, Gable is the epitome of like a player taking like a small amount of minutes on a team or something like that. Here we go, back to basketball, back to sports and whatnot. Getting a few minutes of opportunity to go out there and run the floor, and you look good in those few minutes. And because you looked good in those few minutes, guess what? The coach is gifting you more minutes and more minutes, and then all of a sudden down the line, boom, look at you now. You're a sixth man. You're the go-to guy off the bench. Oh, guess what? Boom, boom, boom. A few things happen. We got to trade a few players. Look at you. Now you're in the starting lineup. And all of a sudden, you're looking like an all-star. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what we've been seeing with Gable, where it's like he's been taking a little bit of opportunity on TV and expanding it and continuing to expand it into where it's like you have to notice Gable. So I could definitely see him coming out and winning in that way, and from that. Carmelo Hayes, once again, I feel like he is a dark horse in this match. Don't really see anything for LA Knight. Don't really see much for Andrade at this time, unfortunately. As far as this match, I'm not saying moving towards the future, they can't have a lot, but they could, but without the briefcase, because I just don't feel like it's time. There's too many other guys in this match right now, namely a Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Chad Gable, Drew McIntyre, who are hitting on a completely different level that can benefit from this briefcase, to where I just don't think, LA Knight, he feels like he's cooled off a little bit. I mean, I know he's still getting those big pops and live reactions, but the internet ain't on his nuts like they was. So like you don't got that aspect anymore. Andrade, he's still trying to find his place on the card. I just feel like those four got the best chance. But Absolutely, man. I think that's who we can see it, Jay. I think these Money in the Bank ladder matches are going to be great. I think they're going to be good matches, and I'm glad we got a chance to talk and break them down. But now we got to get to a couple of other matches. We still have 2 title matches, and then we have a 6-man tag to talk about. I want to start it off with this very interesting Intercontinental Championship match. I think the Intercontinental title has been booked in a very interesting way, not in a bad way, as far as coming off of the historic title reign, 666 days of Gunther, and now Gunther's off to his next matter of business at SummerSlam. He's just waiting in the wings for that. But now the Intercontinental Championship is with Sami Zayn, and he's got a hell of a feat with somebody who I think I know for sure, myself and Grun for sure, like big on this guy. I think everybody is on this show, but like Braun Breaker is just, since they've really like unleashed him and because he's been drafted for a little while, right? But they didn't fully unleash him like right after the draft.
So he's been called up since like dang near the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The issue was he was called up. He was trying to decide whether he wanted to go to Raw or SmackDown. He decided to go to SmackDown, and then they just kept putting him in squash matches. And then when the draft happened, they had him pretty much doing the same shit on Raw, but he was getting great crowd reactions. But with those great crowd reactions, they didn't put him in the King of the Ring tournament. And that's where it became Braun Unleashed. Because it was like, hey, not only did you put Ilya, who debuted here after me in the King of the Ring tournament, you also put Ricochet in here, someone who I've beaten before. So why are you not putting me in the tournament? And I think that's where it became Braun Unleashed.
Yeah, we saw him. Yeah, you're right. We saw him get unleashed, and we just really seen this quick rise of Braun Breaker. And it's not like a thing where it's like, I think he could be a flash in the pan or anything like that. Like, this guy is really good, and he's interesting to watch. And I think it was Voice who said he's compelling to watch even when he's not wrestling and he's reacting to things that people were saying to him. Like, he has good reactions. Like, it's just, he doesn't feel like a bland character. Like my son when was talking about Braun Breaker, we was playing WWE 2K and just chilling after I got off from work, and I used Braun Breaker because I'm such a big fan of Braun and everything that he's doing. And he's like, yeah, it'd be interesting to see Braun Breaker versus Goldberg. And I'm like, why? And he was like, because that's how I compare Braun Breaker to Goldberg. I was like, no, nope. That's not. I kind of get where you're saying that, but at the same time, like, I don't think with somebody like Goldberg, he was really, so to build on what P was saying, they were putting him in squash matches, him being Braun Breaker, and that's what really Goldberg, his whole thing got based off of that. Like that, his whole street gimmick, like, more, I remember watching a lot of WCW, and like more than half of that streak is just bullshit ass matches. Yep. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of it is just squashes. So like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I can see where you can get that mindset if you're watching him, like P was saying, on SmackDown, and what they was giving him. But now they're actually giving him something. They did that streak shit for months and months and months, and like that was all that he had. Now you got Braun Breaker, he's okay. So first off, he's pissed that he's not in the tournament. So now he's feel like he got to make a statement, hurt people. Next up, his explosive rage is now putting Ricochet on the shelf, which is good for both guys because he got written off TV because he wants to get out of his contract and do other things. And it's good for Breaker because it makes him look more like an unstoppable badass. Yep. And now, boom, he's got himself involved in the Intercontinental Championship match. He's got stuff moving with Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. And who's, like, you know, if you're going to be that next badass, that next unstoppable force, who better to pass that torch to you than somebody like Sheamus, who has played that character before? You know, so I just think the way they're taking care of Breaker is in such a way, it's good stuff, and I'm really enjoying it. And now it looks like we're in a spot where he is going to Money in the Bank in Canada. He's going up against Sami Zayn. He's clearly going to be the hated heel here because Sami Zayn and the way he's built himself up as a babyface and being in Canada, that's going to be big. I think the crowd reaction for this one is going to be big. Grun, what are you thinking, man, about this match? Who do you think is going to come out winning it?
I'm really hoping it's Braun Breaker. I'm really hoping they don't pull some BS and there's a DQ finish because so and so is mad that they're not in the match and that Braun Breaker jumped the lines. Like Braun Breaker could have ran through the line and nobody would bat an eye. Braun Breaker is our next Intercontinental Champion. I was hoping that they were going to do a multi-man match with Sheamus and Ludwig. where Sammy wins because of the chaos, but Braun Breaker makes an argument for why he deserves the IC title match at SummerSlam. Then you put the title on him there at the bigger pay-per-view. But I mean, if they put it on them now, like, I'm not going to complain.
I like that. No, I really like the idea of they should have done a fatal 4-way on Saturday, and then Breaker does not take the pin. Somebody like Ludwig takes the pin, but Breaker, like you said, makes a good case for himself that he could be the next IC champion, and then you set that up for SummerSlam. I want to build off of that maybe a little bit. Somebody who, of course, is in the business doing his thing. Paragon, what do you think about this Intercontinental Championship match?
I got two thoughts about it. Thought number one, Breaker has to win. Breaker has to win. He can't afford a loss right now. And I get you might be trying to build up Sammy as a champion and show that he can overcome a force like him. But you know what you're doing? You're pretty much turning Sami Zayn kind of into like John Cena, where you just give him these really big obstacles and have him overcome it. And then they end up falling down the card and never truly and really recovering after that. So Breaker has to come out this match winning. If he loses, and it's not like, oh, at least Breaker wins by DQ. No, if he loses, it has to be this option. There's a person who was said to be going to debut last night at AEW, and they didn't. And though they were moved to the alumni page of WWE, we found out we cannot trust Triple H. Because Triple H used to do this thing in NXT where he would throw up those "it's time to go, show's over" graphics, and then we would have the nastiest betrayal.
I remember.
We would have the nastiest betrayal or the nastiest beatdown or something like that. So much so that even now we cannot trust those graphics because we're like, no, what's about to happen? And so I think that there's a chance that Braun Breaker is about to hit the spear and finish off Sammy while the referee is down. And while he's setting up for the spear, you hear "one and only." And the crowd pops and they freak out. And Braun does that thing that all wrestlers do when they hear that music. They get ready to fight, but they get closer towards the entrance ramp and away from the ropes behind them. And I could easily see Ricochet springboard in the ring, attack Braun, hit him with something. And as Braun is trying to get up to his feet and the referee is starting to collect themselves, hell of a kick, 1, 2, 3. And now Braun can say, "You didn't beat me, Ricochet did."
I like that.
Which allows him to finish whatever story he has to do with Ricochet, allow Ricochet time away, renegotiate contract, whatever may have you. And then it also allows you to protect Sammy if you want to continue his reign, protect Braun if you want to have him come back to the IC title down the line, and you also find a way to reintroduce Ricochet if you decide he wants to come, if he comes back to the company, whatever may have you. But in the case that this fantasy booking that I just made about Ricochet does not happen, which there is probably a 90% chance that does not happen, if you don't have Braun come out with the IC title, if you don't have Braun come out and him beating Sami Zayn because of whatever thing you're trying to do with Sammy, you pretty much just wasted this entire build you did with him. And granted, there's so many things you can say of, oh, well, then we'll have Braun do this. Oh, but the thing about momentum is when you stop it, it's hard to get it back. And no matter how fast you make your car go, no matter what cool thing you do, when you have perfect momentum and you stop it, you'll never get that back. It's like going on a roller coaster, and it's that perfect build up and that perfect drop, but you get the perfect build up, and then the drop is meh. It disappoints. And then you go to the next roller coaster, and you're like, "Oh, that was great," but you're still living off of, yeah, but the build for that roller coaster was like Ohio has the number one amusement park in the world called Cedar Point. Cedar Point has this roller coaster that I used to hate growing up because it would have this amazing build, amazing build, amazing build. It'll give you a disappointing drop, and then it will curve and then go up and then give you the real drop. But when the real drop happens, it's not like, we got you. It gets you like, why didn't you just do this the first fucking time? I get why you wanted to do it because it was unexpected, but sometimes the expected is the right choice. Sometimes the expected is warranted. And I feel like in this situation, the expected is, unless you find some way that protects Braun and screws him, that isn't just the I should be in this match instead of this person, like Voice was saying, then yeah. Well, was that Voice or was that Grun that said that about the...
That was Grun. I know we all look the same, but yeah.
I mean, it's the beard. It's the beard. Or it's, I'm used to the order, and I think we did it out of order this time. Damn it! But no, like I don't want it to be in a situation where it's like, hey, I should have been in this match, fatal 4-way, that shit, whatever may have you, because it's like, why don't you do this first and then have on SummerSlam this match? So the only way that it makes sense for that to happen is if they probably go the Ricochet route or something like that. Because even if you were like, oh, we're going to have Ilya do it. Now Ilya is like a sore loser for not getting into Money in the Bank.
So,
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. I like, man, I'm liking your thoughts. I'm liking your directions here, man. Voice, what are you thinking, man? This Intercontinental Championship match, what's your thoughts on it? Because we already got a lot of interesting ways that we can go here. That Ricochet one is hot. I like that thought. What about you, Voice? Where you at?
I'm shocked that Sami Zayn's distant cousin Grun is going against him. The similarities there are just mind-blowing. But I would like to say I do love Braun Breaker. I love everything he's doing. He's like built for wrestling. He's built for this moment. But now that P has said this whole Ricochet thing, it's got me sitting here thinking, and I know he brought it up in the chat, but the idea that he just laid out verbally is just, that would be a great way to get everybody over in a way where maybe SummerSlam is going to be built huge. And if you keep Sammy with that title, you can definitely make SummerSlam a triple threat with multiple people involved. You have Braun, you have Ricochet, you could have Braun, you could have, but I see where he's saying, this buildup, why would you do that if you're going to go that route? I don't know, man. I really think this is Braun's time, though. If they don't do the Ricochet angle, I really think they should just give it to Braun. Sami Zayn, he can go so many avenues in this industry that you don't really need to have him have the title. I think it's more of a cool off period from what we just went through with Gunther, with Sammy, and it's well deserved. I mean, Sammy is a deserving champion. I'm not trying to knock anything on that. But you got interesting guys coming up. I mean, Sheamus is out here driving Cybertrucks up to Monday Night Raw. For some reason, Sheamus is making me be interested in him. And I really, when I seen him come back first, I'm like, why would I care about Sheamus coming back? But now I am. So I could see him in an icy feud battle, asking for it.
Fire.
That'd
be fire.
And I'm not saying we have to have Sheamus as a champion. I'm just saying he's doing good work. But yeah, I really think Braun, this is his time. I think they're listening to the crowd. I think you could play up so many angles there with him winning in Canada over Sami Zayn and just showing his dominance. And then everybody being like, strap in for another dominant run because here we go. We got Braun.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for this. What's happening? I really think Braun takes it, but I could see a Sammy taking it if P. So you're like a wizard, Paragon. You know, you just sit back there and you cast things, and I really like that angle though, to get Ricochet back in the fold, because I did post what are we missing without Ricochet? If you're gonna give him another run, give him a run. Then let's see
Yeah.
what Ricochet can do. Full throttle, storylines behind him. Everybody, let's go. So that's
Yeah.
where I'm
No.
at with that one.
Yeah, I'm with. I just really don't want to say. I don't want to see Ricochet anywhere else. It don't feel right. Like the thought of him not being part of WWE anymore. I mean, it just doesn't. I like what he does. I enjoy watching him in the WWE ring. And I'll be honest, if he goes to AEW, not just because I don't have the channel, it's because I just don't have an interest right now. I won't be watching. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like it is what it is. But I would like to see that angle happen. That'd be great. But once again, like you guys said, if that's not happening, it's got to be Braun. But I'm gonna throw it to Hype. Hype hasn't got a chance to really throw his hat in the ring real quick on this one. What you think, man, about this Intercontinental Championship match?
Oh man, so like this is all for nothing if Ricochet doesn't come back and hit Braun Breaker with the car. So like, and like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, you have to hit that man with a car. Like, I want vehicular manslaughter.
You got a Brian Pillman that motherfucker.
Want it?
Yeah.
Well, you got to shoot that motherfucker.
Yeah, no, for real. He put you in front of it through a car windshield in front of your girl and some shit, man. Nah, man.
Yeah, you beat my ass in front of my friends, my family, my woman, and my fans.
Yeah.
Like, no,
yeah.
I'm the blicky. I'm gonna make sure my phone goes straight through your kids don't grow. Like, you got to come back on hit 'em up style. Like, no, they not like us. They not like us. Was like, hey, I meant to make a bop and ruin your career, make fun of you. No, you got to be on some hit 'em up style. Like, you got to be. That's why I shot this bitch, you fat motherfucker.
Yeah. So like,
till I die.
So either Sami Zayn gets out and out squashed in this match, because that's kind of how they're building Braun Breaker. And I know like Sammy will kick out a couple times and like he'll make it theatrical, but like break his back or whatever. But like Ricochet has to hit this dude with a car if he's coming back, or Ricochet needs to change his name and go away somewhere else because like they played him. But like, I love the Ricochet aspect. I hope that's what's happening, because it's a smart move, and especially the way things they've done things and things have transpired. I think it's a very smart move. But yeah, if you don't come back and hit this dude with a car, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, it just feels weird to me, man, that in this current landscape of professional wrestling, especially in the WWE, where it seems like all things are clicking on all cylinders, that you can't find a good spot for this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tried to give him that like speed championship thing, and it's like, hey, we know we should be pushing you, but we got other guys that we're pushing, so we can't really push you. But hey, we'll give you this, and it's just like, nah. I think like guys like him, guys like Dijak, like they see more in themselves than just being, a small part of, the biggest wrestling company in the world. And they want to try to prove themselves that they can do more and be more, which we've seen it happen. We've seen guys leave the company and then, they go off and make this huge splash in wrestling, and then they come back. Drew McIntyre's done it. Cody Rhodes has done it. I mean, I could keep naming, I can name, but the fact of the matter is it's a real thing. Like, that's a real thing. So like, I like the thought of Ricochet investing in himself, but I more like the thought of Ricochet investing in himself, WWE also investing in him, and them coming together and figuring out like, hey, what amicable agreement can we make to where it's going to be like, all right, like you feel like you're enough and we're pushing you in a way that you feel like you're feeling like you're enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be put in this spot. How can we work together to get you into a spot like that or similar to that that's going to make you happy. You know what I'm saying? So like that's going to be the question with that. I don't like the landscape of WWE without Ricochet. It seems like that might be what we're getting, but I would like the idea of them just making this a big ass story like they are, and you know, doing all the things that WWE would do when somebody gets released and then boom, he pulls back up on Money in the Bank and we see a huge return and yada yada yada. So we'll see what happens with that. We just got to show up and see what happens and watch Saturday night what goes down, because that's not the only title match that we have. We also have another title match. We have Damian Priest, who's going to be defending against the returning Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins, I know that I've said to Voice on these past couple episodes that we have talked that it seems like he's back sooner than what we thought. I mean, I didn't expect him to come back so soon, so I was kind of surprised when he came back. Voice, who do you think you got in this match? Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, everything that's moving with that. The Judgment Day, a lot of moving parts within the Judgment Day right now. Finn is kind of in his bag a little bit, swooping up room keys, playing PS5, you know what I'm saying? With females just chilling, watching in the clubhouse. Actually, it's a pretty good life. I think about it. Like,
Yeah,
dang,
I mean,
like you got a baddie chilling with you when you're playing video games. Like, and now you're a tag team champion. Like that's like he's in a kind of good spot right now. Dom,
Definitely.
maybe not in such a good spot. Everything going on with Dom and his turmoil and him being officially pregnant now. You know, he's pregnant. You know, thanks to Liv Morgan. But Damian, it feels he pregnant. But it feels like Damian, even at this juncture in his title reign, it's weird because it feels like he's been champion since WrestleMania, but he still feels like he's trying to prove himself at this point. You know, where are you at with this match? What you think? Who you think's coming out, Voice?
I think Damian Priest retains. I love Seth Rollins, but Seth doesn't need the title right now. He's just coming back. But yeah, it is very soon. He's got like, I don't know, Kobe Bryant's surgeon team on call. I mean, the dude came back from injury way quicker than any of us thought he was going to be. I mean, I honestly expected maybe a SummerSlam we see Seth Rollins.
That's
but to have him back, I mean, I'm not mad at it. I enjoy it. But yeah, I think Damian Priest wins here. And I think if he doesn't, then we're going to start to see maybe Judgment Day changing, maybe dissolving completely, or on the stage of dissolving. I mean, we need Rhea back. I mean, I would assume, wouldn't it be weird if they like just disbanded without her?
Ooh, if she came back and the landscape of her stable was just completely different, everybody was just on their own, doing their own thing, bro.
Wouldn't that be weird?
That'd be weird. Her? Yes.
I mean, like, no doubt. But it would be interesting to kind of see them play that angle and to see where they would go with it. But I mean, I really like what we talked about. I think me, you, and Grun a couple weeks ago. I think they're building a new stable, and it's going to be Finn, Jay Dudda, and Liv. So I really think that I mean, that 7-head, I just can't get over it. I'm sorry. I know he's good, he's talented, and he's paid his dues, but I'm sorry. I'm going to be very superficial on this one. I'm not buying JD. I'm sorry. Anyways, but yeah, I think that if they did that route, I think it would be kind of cool, because then you have Rhea come into a cracked grouping, and then who does she have left? She has Damian and excuse me, she has Damian and she has I'm drawing a blank on his name. Dirty Dom. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was watching a Monday Night Raw as we're talking, but yes, Dominic, you have Damian, and then Rhea. I mean, it's not a bad faction. And then you have this new split, and Mommy can look over at Liv and be like, you broke up my family. You did all these things. Now it's time for
everything.
completely destroy your life. And I think this storyline, I'm like I said last week, I believe I'm just going to sit back and watch it unfold. I don't want to know what's coming next. I just want to watch it because I think everybody involved is just so good at what they do.
Yeah, no, I like that thought. I like the thought. I think we talked a little bit about that. Yeah, we did talk about it a couple weeks ago as far as them like dissolving into two separate factions and whatnot. If you guys go back and listen to those old episodes, really good episodes, by the way. But yeah, we did talk about that. There's definitely a landscape where that could happen. I don't know, man. There's a lot of things going on with Damian right now. A lot of things circling him. Finn is saying that he's changed ever since he's become champion, and it's like, in Finn, I mean, and Damian made some good points too. He was like, when Rhea was champion, we was behind her. She was the leader. Now I'm champion. Now everybody's got to fall behind me, and that's just kind of how the dynamic of what we do. Well, Finn don't like it. And, also Finn kind of inserted himself into the whole Seth Rollins thing because of his dying obsession with Seth Rollins. That goes way back. That goes way back with them too. So he once again inserted himself. He cannot keep himself out of Seth Rollins' business because of that obsession that he has with him. And there's once again a lot of moving parts going on with the Judgment Day I'll give my thoughts, but it's just a lot of moving parts. But I'm going to throw it to Hype here, man. What are you thinking could happen in this match? What's your thoughts? What's the scenario?
Oh man. So Damian has to prove that he can beat Seth. It probably is a little early for Seth to come back. But the story here is the dissolution of the Judgment Day. I think Damian pulls this out in spite of things that happen in the Judgment Day. And maybe in spite of us seeing a definitive split from the Judgment Day and its members. This is going to be a big match storytelling wise, and it's going to be a big match storytelling wise for Damian's story, not so much for Seth. Seth could lose this match, and he'll go on to the Universal Championship. Probably not really, but he'll be fine. So this match is all about Damian, all about how he perseveres, and I don't think he loses this one because I don't think that we're to that point of the story yet.
Interesting. I once again I got thoughts. This is a scenario where it's like you made a good point there, Hype. All eyes are going to be on Damian Priest. This is because if Seth Rollins loses, okay, whatever. Seth Rollins can find himself another opportunity and nobody will bat an eye. If Damian loses, we're going to be like, what kind of title run was that? How are we going to remember a title run? Was he really the guy? Or did he just, or did we just think he was the guy in the moment and history is going to, not smile so fondly on that title run? We'll see how that goes down. But I'm going to throw it to P over. Yeah, I was giving it right to you. I was giving it to you. Go.
Before you throw it to me, because it's a question for you I have. So before you throw it to me, I got a question for you. So you said if Damian loses tomorrow, then it's going to be like, is he our guy? But we're okay with Braun winning and Sammy losing tomorrow. But Sammy and Damian have held the championship for the exact same amount of time. And they tried to make it like they had to overcome two different obstacles. Damian just walked into a championship with Money in the Bank. Sammy had to defeat the most dominant intercontinental champion ever, and he's only had one feud.
The weird thing is that was the end of Sammy's story. Sorry to cut you off. I'm sorry, because I feel like they didn't pick up a new story after defeating the longest reigning intercontinental champion. They just said, "Oh, here's the guy."
Yeah,
he's gonna fight some guys,
which I think is kind of the issue with Sammy. The issue with Sammy is at his best when he's chasing something, not when he's
I agree.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, that's why I just wanted to put that out there. I got to play devil's advocate, and that's why I was like, oh well, the same thing you're saying that Damian can't afford, you're saying has to happen to Sammy. So that's why I just brought that up. Because I agree. I just wanted to bring that up.
No, you're good. I was giving it to you anyway. It's your floor, bro.
Well, it's not. If I was having a question for you, it's not, okay.
Oh
Anyway.
yeah, okay. You asking me the question? So what question are you asking me? What exactly is the question?
Well, I mean, it kind of seems like we got a consensus because Hype answered it, but it was like, is it okay to hold wrestlers to separate standards in the same circumstance? But then there's also the question of, is it a different circumstance? Because as we were kind of establishing, Sammy is at his best when he's chasing versus when he's having, whereas
Right.
Damien has had a singles championship and a tag championship, but like this is
Yep.
his chance to show he's the guy.
Yeah. I see what
But
you're saying. I think there's nuances. I really do. I mean, there's definitely different nuances because like when I see Damian Priest, this is a guy who a lot of people, including myself, feels like he has those tools to be like the face, the guy, somebody that could be the face of the brand and really be out there in the media world and stuff like that. Yada yada yada. I just feel like that this title run specifically, because of a lot of those matches, he did get Judgment Day help, or there was some outside fuckery of some kind in a lot of those matches. That there's still questions amongst the universe, if you want to call it that, if you want the fan base. Is he the guy? Is he the guy that can? And I feel like that with him going up against Seth Rollins, if he defeats Seth Rollins, that is going to be a cornerstone of his title reign. That's like, hey, in the realm of this title reign, not only did I hold it from WrestleMania up until, let's just say, at least SummerSlam, I defeated somebody who has been considered the guy one-on-one in Money in the Bank during this title reign, which I feel like will help solidify it and silence those whisperers.
so here's my issue with that. Because the big part of this is Damien has to be able to win on his own and prove he can win on his own, right? I
Yeah.
don't think Damien wins on his own if he wins.
You
I
might
don't-
be right. You might be right.
But granted, I don't think he wins because of Judgment Day. We saw
Okay.
a promo. We saw a
Okay.
promo on Monday, and someone in that promo talked about people mistreating their family, and we assumed that they were talking about Chad Gable.
Could be Seth.
Could be Seth, and how Seth betrayed the Shield.
Mhm.
Could also be Damien and how he told his family he does not need them. I think the Wyatt Six gets involved in that championship title match.
Ooh, I hope not.
I don't think
Ooh.
I don't hope I hope not either, but I think it happens. I think when they're saying about people mistreating and betraying their family and stuff like that, I think they lay out Seth and they lay out Damien. And I think that adds more layers because then Damien's like, we're Judgment Day, and you let the people do that to me, and Judgment Day's like, motherfucker, you told us to stay home.
Yeah.
Could be that.
So,
Yes.
and so, like, so which one is it? Do you want us to be there and help you? Or do you want us to stay home? How are we supposed to know the Wyatt Six were going to be there? So I think that's a potential avenue. I think another thing that could happen in the scenario that Drew does in fact win, and if he is brave enough, that may be how he does it. The Wyatt Six takes out Seth and takes out Damien, and then that's when Drew cashes in once the smoke clears. But yeah, I personally do not think we get a finish. I don't think we get a finish. I think the Wyatt Six interferes because I think when Bo was talking about people betraying and mistreating and neglecting and turning their backs on their families, I think he was talking about that match right there in particular. Because you have the man who betrayed the Shield. You have the man who is actively telling his comrades, I don't need you, you need me. And I think that truly goes against what the Wyatt Six is currently standing for. Because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the Wyatt Six is emo, fast and furious family.
It's true. It's true. So I like that. That's a good dynamic. I really like what you're saying there, man. But the Wyatt Six getting involved in the title match, that would be interesting. I don't know because everything they're doing, they're so focused on Gable. I don't know if we see them in the Money in the Bank match. I'm trying to figure out where you fit the Wyatt Six in at and this PLE altogether, and that could be it. That's definitely a possibility, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna throw it to Grun, man. What do you think this title match? Seth Rollins and Damian Priest.
I don't know what to think anymore after just hearing Paragon. I don't know what to think, because there are so many questions. Because maybe Wyatt Six does go after Seth and Damian. I think that would be spreading them thin and not giving them a direct. While it would fit with what they're doing, their focus is on Chad Gable. So it's like, now Damian, Seth, and Chad have to team up to take on the Wyatt Six. Like, I don't know how he would navigate that, but if Seth loses, he can't challenge for the title for as long as Damian is champion. If Damian loses, he's out of Judgment Day. On two things a problem. What if Liv Morgan helps Damian retain the title, or Finn Balor comes out and costs Damian the title?
Could see that.
It could be, or it could be there's no funny business and Seth or Damian win clean. I think Damian wins clean. I think that is what he needs to make the SummerSlam match much bigger. I think that is where you can have Gunther win. My pick's Damian, but I'm still not 100% sure on if that's actually how it's going to go.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's definitely something. Listen, I'm thinking about this match here, and I'm thinking about all the scenarios, everything you guys have all said, and I always try to go in this position here as far as going last in the conversation, so I can take in everything that you guys are saying and hear that. All right. So with all that being said, I think Seth Rollins is going to win. I do. I've been saying for months, you have to pay attention to everything Finn Balor is doing. Everything that he's doing. You got to. Because if you don't, you're going to miss out on something. Finn Balor he's been on this whole situation. Him and Seth Rollins got a whole thing. Him and Damian Priest got a whole thing now. And he took that room key. That room key came. Every time Damian goes in that locker room, who in the locker room? How come every time Finn in the locker room, Liv in the locker room?
Every time I'm in the kitchen, you in the kitchen.
Exactly. Playing all the WWE 2K, and that's exactly what they're doing. Maybe there's some conversations being had in the background. Maybe Finn Balor took that room key, and maybe he showed up to Liv Morgan's hotel room and they had a conversation. Maybe they conspired. Maybe they're conspiring to get Damian Priest out of the Judgment Day, lose his title, lose his family, and Finn Balor can seemingly slide into the role that he feels like he should be in as the leader of Judgment Day. Now everybody's falling in line with Finn. JD got to fall in line with Finn. Liv was already falling in line with Finn. And then that's going to be the interesting situation of what Dominic Mysterio is going to do. And that could be another story to be told down the line. But I think there's a story and you taking that title off Damian Priest and he loses literally everything. I think there's a story in him starting from the very bottom once again, losing his family, losing his title. And also I think the bigger money match going into SummerSlam is Seth Rollins facing off against Gunther. I just do. So that's where I'm at with it. I think that Damian drops the title. I think that Damian is going to be on a redemption storyline moving forward to build himself back up. And Seth Rollins goes into that title, goes into SummerSlam as champion one-on-one with Gunther. That's my thoughts on it. So that's where I'm at with it. A lot of good insights. We still got we still got one more match to go here to talk about. And of course, that's the compelling bloodline storyline there. And that involving Cody Rhodes, the WWE Universal Champion Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. They're going to go in the 6-man tag going up against each other. Grun, what do you think, man? Where's your thoughts on this match? What do you think could happen in this match? What's the story here in your mind?
I think what's going to happen is we're going to see the Bloodline win. However, I don't think that's going to be the end of the show. I think we're going to hear Roman's music hit, and we're going to see the Tribal Chief walk down, or at least walk onto the stage, stare right at Solo, and Solo just staring right back. I think this is going to lead to Hikuleo debuting in WWE with Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
Oh, whoa. Oh, we took it to a whole nother level.
He's been on this one.
Okay. Voice, what about you, man? What do you think?
I mean, the way Grun's got me on this one too. He's really pointing this one out, and he's done very well in the other conversations we've had with this one. I like it. I honestly could see a one-off between Solo and Roman. Acknowledge me, you know, and then Hikuleo comes out. But I kind of see the other competitors in this kind of getting destroyed. I love these guys, but to build up the Solo bloodline leadership storyline, I think it's necessary for this bloodline to come in and kind of just give these guys something that maybe us as the audience hasn't seen before. And I really think Roman does make an entrance at the end of this, exactly how Grun points out, because it's for cinema viewing and for us as fans, that would just be epic. Especially for a match that's already of this magnitude. I mean, look at the veterans that are in this match, and then with these younger talents coming up, I mean, we want to see this. We want to see this destruction. This is a recipe for chaos in a ring, and I'm always here for that.
Yeah. I think this match is going to be definitely all over the place. I do believe that. I mean, I think this match is going to be, it has potential to be all over the arena. I think that looking at the card here, I think that, of course, we know the Money in the Bank stuff that's going to stay, you know, close to the ringside area. You know, I think that Sammy and Breaker will stay close to the ringside area. Damian Priest, Seth Rollins, same, close to the ringside area. With that being said, that gives the Bloodline versus Cody, Kevin, and Randy a potential to be all over the place, all over the arena. I think that because you know, it's just a thing. Like, you never want to see it twice in the show. You know what I'm saying? I think that it just do it once and let it get its effect from being all over the arena once. We don't need to see 2 or 3 other matches do that. So, you know, I think that we could see that match be that match. But I'm going to throw it to Hype here. What you think, man? What you thinking about this match?
Yo, I think this match is about to be crazy, but I don't think that we see the debut or return of Roman Reigns yet. I'm going out on. I don't personally think we see the return of Roman Reigns until probably about War Games, and he comes out probably about the end of that. This match is going to be interesting because somehow the sides are going to have to be evened in some way, right? And I don't know who comes in to aid the team of Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens, except for maybe we see a returning Jimmy in this.
Jimmy.
And Jimmy,
if he could travel internationally, man, we don't know with some of these Usos, bro.
Oh man, yeah. Half of them can't even come to the countries, right? So like, we got to see that, and so if this is a true 6-man, and one of the new bloodline can't travel, like I'm sure Tama Tonga and Tonga Leia, they're fine. It's Jacob that we have to be concerned about. Where can he go? But as long as he can go into Canada, which I'm sure he can, right? WWE wouldn't really sign him like that if you can't go to half
I think he
places,
can.
right?
MLW when he was with them, didn't they go up in Canada? I believe
don't
they
know.
did.
I'd have to look into that. I can't speak to that without looking into it. But
Yeah.
Gotcha.
it's interesting.
Jimmy would be my long shot because I'm pretty sure he's the one that be driving funny sometimes. So but I'd like to. I don't know if it's time for Jimmy to come back, but this might be a good spot for Jimmy to come back. I know we want Roman now, but I still think we have a minute. This story's still brewing, and he's sitting back watching. He's letting it. He's watching what Solo's doing, and he's like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna do this. You're gonna do that. Oh, you think I'm gonna show you."
He's picking his spot.
Yeah.
He's definitely picking his spot. Most definitely. I could see that, and I got some thoughts on that myself, but I'm gonna throw it to P. What you think, man? This match, we got some 6-man action here going down bloodline. Kevin Owens, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, WWE Universal Champion. What you think, bro?
So the thing is, I feel like people, at least what I've been noticing, is Money in the Bank is being treated like it's a bigger pay-per-view, but it's not a big four pay-per-view.
Right.
If Roman's coming back, they're going to have Roman come back on a big four. So kind of like how Hype said, it's probably War Games. If not War Games, maybe next month at SummerSlam. But if he's coming back, I see him coming back, making an appearance at a big four pay-per-view. With that being said, I kind of fuck with the idea Grun was saying about Hikuleo coming in with Roman. Another thing is Hikuleo could end up being a plant by Roman. They have him join, and then Roman shows up. When Roman shows up, he makes a symbol, like he does a hand gesture or whatever, and Hikuleo starts laying motherfuckers out. And they're like, what's going on? And then he leaves and he stands with Roman, and they hold up the ones or whatever. And then it's like, oh, Lord, do we have a civil war within the bloodline? We'll have all these questions. Roman's back, blah, blah, blah. I do have the bloodline winning tonight, but how I have it, I mean, not tonight, tomorrow, but how I see it.
Saturday.
Fuck, Saturday. Shit, today is Thursday. See, the holiday threw everything.
We saw,
off.
it's
Yeah,
messed
it-
up.
Holiday
All
threw
messed up.
everything off.
Yep.
How I see it is this. It looks like Team Cody, Randy, and KO have the match won until out of nowhere there's an RKO to Cody.
Ooh.
That I see that one.
And
That's the
KO
one I see.
and
I was
KO
thinking
looks
that
at
in, yeah.
Randy like, what the hell are you doing? And either Randy's like, hey, I got no beef with you, no problem with you, and leaves, or looks at him, I'm sorry, or looks at him, goes, ha, and he hits KO with an RKO as well.
Yeah.
And I see that after he hits the RKO either on Cody or KO, I see one of the bloodline members reluctantly trying to make sure he's not about to do something, going over the pin, but they never break eye contact with Randy. 1, 2, 3.
Kind of
They
like
get
when Kevin Owens won the Universal Champion because Triple H had him win it. He in the triple threat match, Seth Rollins pedigreed him, and then he was reluctantly looking at him like, "Are you really about to let me do this?" I see exactly where you're going.
Yep.
That's a good angle.
And then as they pin, they get out the ring and they do all their taunts. And then I see Randy setting up the punt kick on Cody.
Ooh, here we go. I like it.
And I see we go into a story of potentially him talking about, like, as far as I'm concerned, I brought you into this business. Everything you have, I gave to you. If it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for legacy, what I gifted to you, you would have been let go long before you actually became a Stardust.
Ooh.
But because of me, I gave you reason. I gave you prominence. I gave you purpose. Hell, I gave you the idea to take that Intercontinental Championship and make it classic, holding back to the legacy that our parents forged for us. And then you left this industry and you took a whole bunch of things I gave you, whether it be the wearing the suits, whether it be the carrying yourself like a professional. You took that to other companies and realized how much the grass wasn't greener without me. and then you waltz back into my company where I've never left, and you put yourself in a spot where I should have been in, and you did something I wasn't able to do, and that was to take down the tribal chief. And yeah, I was there to celebrate you, but if you notice, I never took my eyes off of you. And every time I walked past you, I was staring at that championship. Now I'm not staring at the championship. Now I'm staring at you. I see Randy, because I believe Randy may be close towards the end of his career. And the fans do love him right now. But if you see the way he looks, the shape that he's in, the stuff he's been doing, I think Randy ends his career as a heel. And I think what better way than to go after the top babyface and just wreck his shit. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking Cody thinks that they have the match won. I think Cody thinks everything's sweet because, hey, I'm the WWE champion. So my popularity and XP points are up by 10.
Yeah, my GM.
And I think what ends up happening is he gets betrayed by Randy. And I think they use that to carry Cody into SummerSlam away from the bloodline. So that way, bloodline can still be bloodline on top, but it still keeps adding to that story of, but did the bloodline actually win? Did Solo actually win? Is Solo this made man? He's telling himself, because now he gets to add to the resume, I beat the WWE champion, I beat a future Hall of Famer and legend, and I beat a former world champion in Kevin Owens. But in reality, they beat themselves. That's what I'm thinking happens.
Hey, I like where he was going there as far as like that whole Randy Orton angle, because we all want to see it, and I think you just mapped it out and laid it out beautifully. So I do like that, man. For me personally, Bloodline's winning. Like, I just think the Bloodline is winning. I do think that and I've said it on this, I said it on the show before, myself and Voice did. That's true. That might be true. That's ridiculous. And one of those questions was, do we see Roman Reigns return at SummerSlam? And I said, that's true. And I still believe that that's true. I think that's when we see the return of Roman Reigns is at SummerSlam, whatever Solo Sikoa is doing. I do believe that we could be heading into a Solo Sikoa Randy Orton in Cody Rhodes triple threat match. And just like I said on my solo shot, I think we could be walking into Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu one-on-one at SummerSlam, with that being Jacob Fatu's first singles match at SummerSlam. You do it against Kevin Owens, good first opponent. And then the Tongans, they'll be involved in whatever they're going to be doing, which could likely be the tag team championships if DIY is champions at that time, with them moving more in the babyface direction. And I feel like one of the stories moving forward for the Bloodline is going to be, okay, we've dispatched Cody, Randy, and KO as a unit. Now it's time for us to get absolute power, and the only way for us to have absolute power is for Solo to be the WWE Universal Champion and for the Tongans to be the tag team champions. So I could see them moving in that direction, because I do think the Bloodline, like, they're obviously making their presence felt, but like, I feel like soon they're going to need and going to have a very targeted agenda. And usually when you have those very targeted agendas in wrestling, a lot of the times they're title related, especially if you want absolute power and, in the company. So I think that's the direction we could be going in with that. I think Bloodline does win at Money in the Bank, and I think that it's going to be something interesting. I think the whole show is going to be interesting as a whole. It's definitely going to be great there in Canada. The crowd's going to be hot. It's going to be great. The matches are going to be good, but it's not the only wrestling that we're going to be seeing that weekend. And we're about to call this a really great episode that we gave you guys. And it's been a great one, but also we have NXT Heatwave that's going down Sunday. So the day after Money in the Bank, and a lot of interesting matches. NXT is always hitting on a very interesting level, whether it be them working with, TNA, whether it be this interesting story that they're doing with Brooks Jensen that we'll probably talk about on a future episode. I threw that in the chat last night, and Hype had some some thoughts on it, and I have some thoughts on it too. Don't really get a lot of time to go into it now, but we will. And then you also have great characters that are presenting themselves. Trick Williams. We got we got Javon Evans, Ethan Page, Sean Spears, Roxanne Perez is great. Obafemi, I think, is a great star. Wesley is back from injury. He's challenging for the NXT North American Championship. Kalani Jordan makes history as she's the new and first ever NXT North American Women's Champion. And she's going to be going up against Sol Ruka. The NXT tag titles will be defended as Nathan Frazier and Axiom goes up against Chase Yu. A lot of great matches, man. A lot of great matches. So I just want to quickly go around the room here with the squad and just ask maybe one or two matches. I'll say, whichever one you think, one or two matches that you're really looking forward to from this NXT Heatwave show. And yeah, just give them to me. And I'll start with Voice here.
All right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the NXT Women's Championship. The Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. I think they really, they've done really good work on pushing that storyline, and it's been pretty captivating. So that's what I'm looking forward to for Heatwave.
Oh, great! Yeah, I think that's a good one. Definitely one that you should be keeping an eye on. Grun, what do you think, man? Which match is really popping off for you?
I'm actually agreeing with Josh. I think the Roxanne Perez Lola Vice match is going to be really good. I think with Lola Vice getting that win at the last takeover over Shayna Baszler really made it clear to the casual viewers that she's not. This isn't just some chick. This is they want to do something with Lola Vice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that a lot of people, like, when you see her, she's doing her dance or whatever, shaking it around, doing her thing. But like at the same time, she can do that, but she can legitimately whoop your ass. And like I think that I think that was very much a solidifying win for her up against Shayna Baszler. So I agree. I think that Lola Vice should be viewed in a different light because of the way they've been pushing her hype. What do you think? What match are you looking forward to most from Heatwave?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this fatal four-way for the men's championship. I think it's very interesting. I like the storytelling that's going on. I want to see what happens with Javon Evans and Trick Williams and their story going forward, because I think they have another unique dynamic that I don't want to see this story copied from Trick and Mello, but this is kind of an updated version or a new chapter of it. You know what I mean? And I'd like to see how Trick handles being the guy on top and also being the guy that can handle his friendships and relationships with his friends, who also knowing that they want to be the guy as well. So like, this is interesting storytelling.
Yeah, I like it too. I like Javon Evans and everything they brings to the table. They really came out of the gates with him. Like they really just like, here you go. Here's this guy. Boom, right here, 19-year-old phenom. So like they're just throwing him out of the gate there. It's very interesting, his build and the way they're moving with him. But P, I know you probably got a lot of thoughts because you really wanted to bring up NXT Heatwave, and we wanted to make sure that we brought it in there. What are you looking forward to, man, from the show?
Well, for one, everything that Hype was saying about that match, while also adding, Sean Spears and Ego Page, because it's just like you have the one guy who came back to the company after being with AEW for so long. You had the other guy that at one point in time, people thought when they were doing the whole Evolve partnership was going to end up joining the company, and then he doesn't, and then winds up going to AEW. So it's kind of similar to Money in the Bank. You have people who also need wins. But then you have the champion trying to prove what he is with the hardest test because he has to beat three other guys. And you have Javon, who's this rising star, and he is having similar charisma that Trick did. So it's literally like watching this same story play all over again.
Yeah.
But that's not the match I got my eye on. The match I got my eye on is Obafemi versus Wesley.
He took one of mine.
Because for real, I mean, you have the person who is on track of becoming the most dominant North American champion against the man who is the greatest North American champion. And on one end, it's like, Ohio, stand up. Nah, me and Wesley in there. But at the same time, I'm also like, Obafemi is on the road. Like, I wanted to hate on Obafemi at first because there were so many things. I'm like, he's still in my flow, dog. Like, the
Yeah,
necklace and the way he's carrying himself. But then I was also like, but dude's undeniable. But then you got Wesley, and I'm just like honestly, the only way I'm okay with Wesley losing is if they call him up to the main roster and they make him their new Rey Mysterio, their new Daniel Bryan. Because there's a reason he's a cardiac kid. He has stupid heart. He has stupid
Yeah.
heart, and he is so talented, and he can make you believe. And it's hard for a wrestler that size to truly make you believe sometimes. Like we were talking about in the group chat about Zelina Vega and how, some people find it hard to believe her offense due to how small she is. Compared to the majority of the roster, Wes Lee is a cruiserweight, not even a light heavyweight. But the way that he wrestles and the heart he has and the way that he's going to take the fight to you, it reminds me of a Daniel Bryan. It reminds me of a Rey Mysterio. It reminds me even of Eddie Guerrero. And so I see that fight in him. And so that's the only way I'm okay with it, is not only him losing, but him losing and moving on to better things where they actually get to treat him like he should be treated and showcased. So that's the match I have my eye on, because I don't know who wins. I don't know who I want to win, but I do want a hell of a match.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what you're going to get, which is why that was one of the matches that was really on my radar, just because the talent that Wesley possesses, and I think that him and Obafemi will really mix it up really well with that big man go up against little man type style. I think it'll be good. But another match I kind of have my eye on, honestly, and I feel like we all kind of know the outcome of it just because of the freshness and newness of the situation. But it's that NXT North American Women's Championship, Kalani Jordan going up against Sol Ruka. I really got a chance to get my eyes on Kalani Jordan at the last show where she won it, and I became a fan of her, like just based off of that. I'm also a fan of Sol Ruka and the talent that she possesses. I just think these two can come together and really mix it up and have a good match, and I think that'll definitely be fun. I do definitely see Kalani Jordan coming out and retaining, but it's not about that. I just feel like that with Between the Bell, this is going to be a fun one to watch between two very talented young women, and I'm excited for that one. So yeah, that would be my one on top of Oba and Wes. Don't get me wrong, Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice, great. That Fatal 4-Way is going to hit too. That tag team title match is going to hit too, but those two matches just really, I feel like those are the ones where I'm going to really lock in and just really enjoy myself and enjoy the show that they're about to put on. But guys, I enjoyed the show that we put on. It was a great one, and always enjoy getting the team here. I'm about to just be chilling out for the rest of my day. It's been kind of a rainy situation here, so I don't really see myself going or doing anything for the 4th or anything. I got work tomorrow, so I'm just kind of chilling out here and doing my thing. But we chilled out and we did our thing with y'all out there in the household, and we do appreciate y'all tapping in. Of course, the podcast version is going to be available on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And also, we have a great interview that's coming tomorrow with Eric Dillinger, the Public Enemy #1. He is going to be joining In Your House on the podcast version. We also have the video version that will be ready for you guys. But the podcast version, boom, already. As soon as you wake up Friday morning, it's there. It's ready for you. Make sure that you got it queued up and get ready for a good 30-minute listen of a great interview with one of Deathmatch's top stars. So with that being said, I'm going to give my guys the floor here real quick to plug anything that they want to plug. I'll start with you, Voice. Go ahead and plug away.
Yeah, join us, me and Grun, every Monday at 7 p.m. for the Monday Night Raw review. We have a great bit of talent coming up, that special guests that we're going to be having on that we met over the weekend. So come join us for that. Always catch us on the house parties on Sunday. And whenever you see we go live, just check out who's in there. And that was a fun interview. That right there, that was a fun interview. It really solidified what we did all week or all night for that show.
Yeah,
I felt that one really brought us together. So yeah, go ahead, check out Grun and all the stuff he does when he goes live. Join his chat. His community is fun, and you get to see Grun freak out and just shut people down, and it's so much fun. So come check out what all my friends are doing, and always chat. Give us your opinion. We want to hear what you have to say in the chat when we do our the new setup we have for the In Your House. Is it house chat?
The house call.
House call.
Yeah, the house call. The house call. Join that. Have some fun. Give us your opinions. You know, it's always fun to hear outside voices letting us know what they want to hear about.
I agree, man. That's a good point. Most definitely. And check out everything my man Voice is doing. Always a great help here for In Your House, and we really appreciate it. With that being said, I'm going to throw it over to Hypocrisy Jones, give him an opportunity to plug anything that he wants to plug. He's always got his hands in something, so I know he's got something to plug. What you got, bro?
Yo, what is up? What is up? What is up? My name's Hypocrisy Jones. You can find me right here on In Your House, but you can also find me out there in the social sphere, anywhere you can spell Hypocrisy Jones. If you can't spell it, man, I don't know what to tell you, bro. It's like right here. Yeah.
Other side.
So no, I hit it. Right there.
No, it's the other side of the screen. The other side of the screen.
Oh, whatever. I don't care, bro. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. So you can find me anywhere you can spell that. You can also find me with the Kokomo Press. We do a whole lot of fun stuff, man. We do an open mic every Thursday night at a place called Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana. If you're us out, bro. We have a lot of fun. We do a lot of things. We make fun of a lot of people. We be doing some things. But other than that, man, yo, you find me right here. I can't wait for this interview to come out with Eric Dillinger. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to drop on all of our platforms, as well as podcast platforms. So be on the lookout for that, as Khan said. And then I'm going to kick it back to Khan.
Right on, man. Right on. And of course, I got to throw it to my man. We don't get a chance to get him on that much. When we do, it's always great insight. And that's the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, man. What do you got moving, bro?
Well. Tonight I'm going to be checking out my brother and seeing if he embarrasses me. So if you do see me, you'll see me tonight at War Wrestling in Ohio, Lima, Ohio, where actually it's not even going to be in Lima. It's going to be in Bell Center, Ohio.
Okay.
I ain't even heard of this, but that's where he's going to be at tonight. So I'm going to watch him. Hopefully he does a good job. And if he doesn't, we're not related. Outside of that, I got some stuff coming up. I'll actually be defending my Emerge Championship in Michigan next weekend for City Championship Wrestling. So coming back from injury, stuff is picking up. So yeah, you can see me there. And then because apparently there is a wrestling rap beef going on in Chicago, somebody wants to include me in the beef. So you may be hearing me on a diss song here soon. And it's going to be on wax. It's going to be on wax. You know, these clotheslines will make you feel like your throat is slit. It's happening. And then because of somebody here in our pod that has been pushing me to do this, your boy has been currently working on a stand-up comedy routine. And so you may be able to catch me at one of those Kokomo stand-up sessions because for some reason somebody wants me there so bad. So you may catch me in there doing it. So if y'all see me and I do good, cool. If I don't do good, it was my brother. It wasn't me.
It never happened.
Well played, Paragon.
I like it. My man P always got something moving. Always something going, man. All right, bring up the whole group here real quick. All right, because I got to do something. I got to do something real quick. All right, just all right. Go away for a second. You just take that down. You go away for a second. All right. There we go. All right, we're taking him off for a second. Are we rehiring this guy back? Are we hiring him back? We got to have a group discussion here.
This is a meeting right now.
It's a meeting.
Are
we hiring? You want to hire this guy back?
Nobody told me he was fired. But granted,
we've been saying he's been fired.
But he got to come on before me, so already I'm ready for him to get the boot like a steel toe. Okay. Hey, look. Hey. All I'm saying is this. This is the order it's supposed to go. Okay. It's Khan's show. His name's on the show. Okay, he can come first. All right. But Bell be producing this shit, so then it can be Bell. It's supposed to be me and then Voice. So I got knocked down to fifth, so I say his ass gotta go.
We saving the best for last. That's why you always go last. That's why we do it. We saving the best for last. All right. Hype, where you at? You
Jackson this guy? Is crazy.
I mean, he all right. Like,
Okay. Okay.
I don't hate him.
Okay.
Oh, come
Okay.
on.
Voice, what do you think?
I love Grun. If he's not on here, he's going to be every Monday, and our logo is going to be on him. So we might as well,
That's
Oh.
the point.
So he's here by proxy.
Voice
Well,
just don't want to be the only white guy in the group. That's what it is.
He's groomed by
Honestly, I do want to be the only white guy in the group because I find it fun.
us.
It's all the little inside jokes are to me. Now I got to research: is Grun doing this? Am I doing it? It's a whole thing now.
Okay, all right. So
Hey,
No,
y'all
Voice
start
was like,
penis
I have
stroking
never
when
been
y'all out,
confused
though.
with Khan or Jones before until today's show. Mind you, that had nothing to do with you being white. All you Jordan lovers look alike to me.
Oh man. All right. So I think we'll vote him back in. We'll bring him back.
Yes.
And
All right.
we're gonna bring him back. And now Grun, newly rehired.
Thank
Do you
you.
have anything to plug?
You can check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Grunmeister. I'm live most days. He's playing anything from Elden Ring to Call of Duty. Either way, I'm getting frustrated.
Yes, he does.
We love it, man. We love it. All right. So yeah, guys, once again, just want to thank you guys for coming and listening to our great team. Everybody on this show works really hard to make this show what it is, and I'm proud of the team that we have. In my eyes, the best team in podcasting. So we really appreciate it. Once again, we have some great content for you guys. I did my solo shot this past week. We also gave you this great episode today. We got the Eric Dillinger interview that's going to be dropping tomorrow. Then Sunday, we're going to have another house party that's going to be talking about all the fallout from Money in the Bank, and we'll probably preview NXT Heat Wave a lot more than what we did on this show. And then boom, right back into my solo shot, and then we'll have another interview for you next week. Misa Kate looks like she is going to be leaving the NWA. So there's speculation on that, but we got a chance to talk to her before that news broke. That interview is going to drop next week, next Friday. And then after that, we'll have Big Zoe from OVW. Then the week after that, the ECW legend, the manager of champions, Bill Alfonso. But that's not even it, guys. That's not even it. We've got one more possible interview in the works right now that we're hoping to pull in and get that situated and give it to you guys out there, the household. We're really moving and working and trying to get some things situated to give you guys some really great content. So, guys, you already know Alakan House. That's on all those social media platforms. Follow us in your house pod. That's on X, and that's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So for the Grunmeister, for the voice, Josh Joseph, for the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, and for Hypocrisy Jones, I am Alakan, the Concept House, here to remind you to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, hop on this bandwagon, get on or get gone, because the household, well, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day, great 4th, and hey, we'll be talking to you again tomorrow when we interview Eric Dillinger. Peace. Hey guys, it's your boy, the Director, Con House of In Your House, and I'm here to let you know about a small business that produces beard products and also supports small stage, independent, professional wrestling stars. It's called Ring Master Beard Company. Try one of their several scents, beard oils, balms, or mustache wax, and keep your beard looking and feeling sweet. Purchase your favorite wrestlers or personalities' personalized scent, and they receive a portion of each sale. And with that being said, don't forget to pick up a bottle of the Director in Alakan House Special. Your boy, a blend of eucalyptus, mint, and tea tree oil. Have your beard feeling fresh. Have your beard feeling smooth, just like your boy, the Director. Follow Ringmaster Beard Company on Twitter and Instagram at Ringmaster Beard, or on their Facebook page, and that is Ringmaster Beard Company.
check it out. Get your beard cream, hit your beard with that. Because sometimes being a master in the ring means mastering your beard.